Alright, welcome. Once again we're back in the Airbus A320 from Phoenix. This time making an RNAV approach to runway 05 at Malta Airport. Luca. So we're just going to check the last EJU ops thing. We were a bit late, that's why, so there we go, that's set. So flight plan wise, LMML 05 via the RNAV approach, so it's actually RNAV 05 via Metim, which is this waypoint here. At above 3000, descending to VMOL, and then Vebil, something like that, at 3000 or above. Airport's actually in sight now, so that's the main runway, actually 31. The reason we're taking 05 is because the winds are variable at 2 knots, and it's the quickest way into the terminal, so also goes over the least amount of populated areas as we come into approach. So at night time that might well be the best option, at least for an aircraft like the Airbus A320. Just going below 10,000 feet, so landing lights on and seatbelt signs on. What else are we going to do? We're going to land full flaps, auto brake medium, just to 6,000 meter runway. Let's just check the landing data actually. Runway 05. Conditions should be good. Apply the METAR. Landing weight is going to be, in ref, that's going to be here, 59.5 plus 3.7, so 59 plus 3 is 62, plus 1.2, 63.2. So, max rev's not going to help us, we need medium auto brake with no reverse thrust, or idle reverse, so we use medium and idle reverse. Just descending down below 9,500 feet. What we've got left is arm the spoilers. Everything else is set up properly. We just need to go and check QNH at some point. So we'll go over to the performance page here. QNH is 1013. So we're actually approaching in. It's higher than ISO conditions because it's going to be too warm, but other than that everything is all good. Flight level 30 tuned, the moon is reflecting nicely in the sea there, and we're avoiding the entire island. We're going to come around and land on the runway. It's basically facing that way. In the go around we will have a problem with noise abatement, so we'll be very careful not to do a go around actually. Wind now 026 degrees at 5 knots, which is roughly along the runway heading, so during the approach we might have a bit of a headwind. I'm not expecting much on landing as it is supposed to be wind calm and variable. A variable is actually an absolute nightmare to deal with in real life. It is really variable. It's not like in the game which basically just dies down to nothingness. It is full on buffeting from every direction really. So still got the autopilot doing everything for us really. We just below the transition level, we're just going to switch over to 1013. Which is anyway standard. You can see that they're pretty much on the profile already, like that would be a very nice ideal glide path to take. We're going to arm approach now. So approach is now armed, and as soon as the final performance part kicks in, we'll actually be in, we'll do that now actually just to get our speeds under control. So now in final lap mode by activating the engine on the MCDU. We activate approach here. That gets us into app nav, and then by engaging the engine's approach performance mode we get it into final lap. Final lap then follows the RNAV guidance as if it was an ILS track, and at this point it's vital that we set the QNH of the airfield, which in this case is 1013, so that's quite a lucky coincidence. And we're going to slowly start putting in flaps and reducing down, so I'm going to set actually 180. Flaps 1. Some arrival information to take note of, and we'll check the charts for that quickly actually now. So arrival briefing, arrival runway 05, we vacate via Juliet. unless otherwise instructed. So let's check what Juliet is. yeah, it's the last one on the right. Usually a hotspot 4 there. So basically we're taking a full length rollout. And that is also going to again help with noise abatement, especially during the night time, as we will have next to no reverse thrust during the rollout. Okay, turning to runway heading now, everything's checked, we've got landing light on, seatbelt signs on, flaps set to 1, we can't quite put flaps 2 in yet, so I'll give it a bump of speed brake just for half a minute now. We'll time that 30 seconds speed brake. Just turning the screens down as it's actually easier to see darker screens during the night time, and you'll actually notice that maybe. These ones here as well, just a little bit lower, and I'm just going to slightly dim the integrated and turn off the panel lights and the overhead light. Okay, so we've got a relatively dark cockpit now, we've got just the overhead lighting and integrated active. So there's our splat speed, flaps 2. Got about 8 miles to go. Malta traffic, Alpine 79 Bravo Yankee inbound on an 8 mile final, runway 05. That's us announced and reported, so we're going to hold 180 now. We're going to break through 3000 even though that is set. So I'm going to set 6000 as missed approach altitude. Flaps 2 going in, flap 3 maybe. Actually no, speed brake can come back out. Okay, we've got 7.5 miles to go, gear down. As that speed's come down, the nose starts to pitch up. As it pitches up, we add flaps. And the flaps are going to push us back down, nose downwards. So it's just trying to basically minimise changes to attitude by controlling speed and flaps very well. Okay, it's starting to pitch up, flaps full. Okay, final check, flaps set full. Spoilers are armed. Water brake medium, landing lights on, seatbelt signs on. Recall, and status is all normal. Right, runway ahead, identified 05, PAPI identified. Just saying things at this point, I have no idea if they actually say these things. Just making it up now. Outside, there we go, coming down, moonlight, coming in over the cliffs here. Take a screenshot there. Got 5.6 at 3 knots, so 3 knot headwind is absolutely no problem to deal with. Going to pop out of screen and autopilot off. Flare starts at 40, gentle pushing back 30, we pull up to 5, and 10 we pull up to 6. That's going to be our rough procedure for the flare, and all the while actually I'm going to start prepping the throttle, so I'm going to pull back to about 50% and on there. Disengage autofrost.
1000.
Here comes the variable winds. Start to adjust the plane slightly there.
Minimum.
Continue. About 3 degrees nose up now. Speed set stabilised, auto throttle off. Fully manual landing. Slightly aim to get the PAPIs back in track. We've got 2 knots from the left, that's no problem. Aim for about 700 feet per minute now. Continue as such. Landing light should illuminate.
40, 30, 20, retard. 5,
Touchdown. Idle reverse. Reverse is off. Speed brake up. Flaps up. Roll out to the end. Gentle braking can turn off the strobes, and I'm going to landing lights off, run off lights to taxi, keep the runway turn-offs on. Master caution can go away and we'll rotate to the right. Definitely using the default scenery. Parking brakes set, and we'll just wait for the engine to cool down by starting up the APU. Landing rate wise, yeah, 330 feet per minute, so not too great. But we were essentially quite high on the approaches. We only crossed the threshold at about 100 feet, which is too high. Could have come in a bit lower. APU is not online yet, so we won't turn off the engines just yet. Brakes hot, put the brake fan on. APU is available now, and we'll turn off the engines.